This broke me. This little dot right here above the eye, that little dot right there. This broke me. I'm done. I'm done. The Azura Media Club. It's over. It's it. That's it. This broke me. I'm just gonna pack it in. I think we had a good run, like, what, 12 episodes now? Yeah. That little dot, that broke me. I'm Emily. This is Bad Girl Coven, Azura Media Club. What is the point? What's the point of doing this? It's all just noise into the void. Just like this movie. I'm reviewing the Barbie movie. The Barbie movie. I have the literal only piece of Barbie media I own is this right here. That little dot above the eye. This is literally it. That's fucking it. This is it. It was always something I was tangentially aware of. But I never got to experience or play with Barbies. Because if I did, I would... people would think I was crazy or... I don't know, gay or something. I don't fucking know. My cousins played with them. I knew girls who played with them. Yeah, the first time, how I kind of figured out, I mean, it's not exact, obviously, but there was, this is such a stupid story, I don't know why I'm telling this. There was, this girl at this daycare I used to hang out at, and, like, she was like, one of my friends was like, you know, what's under a Barbie? Like, what's down there, right? Like, and she's like, you can't see. And he's like, well, what does it matter? You know, it's not like the real deal anyway. And she's like, well, it's similar, except without the, you know, and I'm just like, huh. And that's how I figured out about vaginas. That story right there is how this movie fucking goes. That's not how I figured out about it, but I kind of got the context of that story through there. But goddamn, dude, what the fuck was this movie? I don't know if I liked it or not. I think it was probably better than Oppenheimer. Not that I even understand that fucking stupid meme of Oppenheimer and Barbie. Like, what do they have to do with each other? Virtually nothing. And I'm broken. I'm sitting there watching the whole movie. And at times I'm like, yeah, I get what's going on. And then at times I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? What is this fever dream in front of me? Would it help if I knew Barbie more? Cause those parts weren't the confusing parts. The confusing parts were the fever dream parts, which I was just so confused about. And then there would just be these random musical numbers sometimes, and it's like, okay, I kind of expected that. Like, most, like, movies like this have some kind of musical numbers, but they were so sporadic. They were like, maybe at the beginning of the movie, and like near the pretty much the end of the movie, like Ken has a song, I guess. Like, they make a joke in there, like, who cares about Ken? But that's the whole idea of the movie. Ken, spoilers for Barbie, by the way. Ken feels like he's been second fiddle for far too long, so he wants to be in charge. And then they go to the real world, and they find out there's a whole thing, like, with the patriarchy, and it's like, oh, men are in charge in our world, or whatever, which is, like, kind of true, for sure. And there's, like, these moments of, like, feminism, and also these moments of, like, the patriarchy, like, clashing heads with each other, and they kind of learn to coexist at the end, kind of. I thought that was kind of the way the message was going, but we're never gonna really find out the repercussions of that, because Barbie pulls a Michael, and, like, what? So she's just a person now? Like, I guess that's fine, but it was so weird. It just felt like they were really actually just trying to rip off The Good Place, I swear. Like, there were other scenes in there too where I'm just like, this is just The Good Place. Like, what are you doing here? Stop that. Stop doing that. Don't do that. Michael Cera was in the movie. He's like Ken's friend, like Alan or whatever. You know, like, I don't know. Like, and then like half of the movie is kind of enjoyable. Like, it just doesn't really make sense how it all like connects together. It's like it just keeps like adding ridiculous freaking things to the lore. It's like, it's kind of like a Toy Story situation where the kids like play with the toys and that affects the Barbies in that world, but then it's like the things in that world, whenever they happen, also happen in the real world, because like when the Kens took over, the Ken toys became really big. It's like, how the fuck does that work? What is the like logic to all of this? And I think there was a line in there about that, how it's like, oh, there is no logic, it's just like real life or whatever, something to that effect. Like, they have to like deprogram the other Barbies at one point to like not believe in the patriarchy, which, okay, cool, but like that's confusing. And it's like, so they act really like stereotypical, like womany, and do all these like things that they don't really believe in just to make the guys think that they believe these things, so that they can get the guys to fight each other, which doesn't end up really mattering in the end, because they all just kind of realize they're kind of an accessory to the Barbie, and she has to kind of explain to them like, hey, you're just you know? That was it. That was what I was thinking of. Because Ken's like, I'm me, or something to that effect. And the same, it was the same exact inflection as when Chidi tells Michael, they're like, about death, and he's like, no more me. Like that thing. Like, it was the exact same scene. I'm just like, they're ripping off The Good Place. And like, what, huh? Okay, so like, I don't know if I'm like totally out on a limb here, or if like all of this made sense to everyone else or something. And if it did, hey, I'm all for it. But I gotta imagine there was some really confused kids watching this movie. And it's like a movie for little girls, right? And I get that it's more than that, but okay. And what really confuses me is they're like, we're not gonna put the Aqua song Barbie Girl in the movie. And then in the credits, they play a version of Barbie Girl, the Aqua song, that's like a modern version, and they say these vulgar things in there and stuff. They ruined Barbie Girl and put it in the fucking movie. You know, honestly, that might have been one of the earliest exposures to Barbie I had, was that fucking song. Holy shit, what is this fucking movie? I'm playing like ethereal dream music because I don't want to play the goddamn soundtrack to the movie, because I'm sure it's filled with copyrighted songs or whatever. But it's just so meta. It's such a self-aware movie. So she goes into the real world to get these like two people, like this mom and her kid, who like now hate Barbie, but the mom works for Mattel. Will Ferrell's like the head of Mattel or some shit, and he's like just chasing Barbie the whole movie. He doesn't have like any point in this movie, like other than to like represent like corporate greed, I guess, or like the patriarchy, I guess, because he's like saying, all this stuff. He's like tries to put Barbie in a box. Is that like a metaphor for him trying to like put Barbie in a box, right? Like he's trying to be like your stereotypical Barbie. That's your thing. But she's like at the end she just feels like she figures out that like that's not my thing. I get to be whoever I want to be, right? Like is that it? Did I get it? Like or well, like what was the purpose of that? Because Barbie's come in a box and she's like, I haven't been in a box in so long. And it's like, motherfucker, what? You've been in a box before? What? Is this how Barbies are born? In a box? Is this a Toy Story? What is this movie? Barbie Story! This is like that. This is like the off-brand, like, fucking Barbie. I just, like, I'm sure, I guarantee, I think, I gotta imagine this made sense to all the little girls who played with Barbies or whatever. But seriously, what was the deal? Okay, I'm just gonna put this in like a regular way. It was meant to be like looking all weird and fucked up, so you got the illusion. What was the point? Like, how you take your big, you know, franchise there, Barbie, and then you make a movie about how people hate Barbie. What? The little kid hates Barbie, and by the end she like likes Barbie, I guess, because Barbie taught her a lesson. But at the beginning she's like, you're like the anti-feminism, and you're what's wrong with this world, because the Barbies think ever since we were invented, feminism has made the world a better place, and their world is an idealization, a good place, if you will, of feminism. But drawn out over a long period of time, it becomes stale and bad, right? Like that's the whole good place vibes. And then, but Ken, he only exists within the gaze of Barbie. Which is kind of, actually, to their point, a message on how some men think women only exist in their gaze, and then they just kind of disappear afterwards. The vain men, let's say. I'm not saying all men. Hashtag not all men, right? It just... Whoo, boy. Holy shit. What the fuck? That was the reaction I was just having the whole movie. Like, half the time I was like, yeah, I get it. It's very... it's Barbie. I get it. I get what's going on here. And it's just like, things would happen, and I'm just like, huh? I literally was like this for like half the movie. Whenever the weird shit would come up, I just lost. It broke me. It broke me. It really did. And you know, and of course I'm all for feminism in the sense of equality. You know, equalism. I don't know. Can we just coin that? Because it's like everyone always says, "Oh, well, feminism. That means that women are more powerful than men." No, it just means we're equals. You know. That's all we want, is to be equals, you know? And in that regard, the movie philosophically sets up a blueprint for how we should live in the real world. Philosophically, as equals. Because we're all humans here, you know? We're all the human race. That's us. That's who we are, you know? That's who we are. We're the human race. So yeah, I mean, like, I feel like somewhere in this movie is buried a good and a deep message, but they didn't focus on it. But they kind of focused on it. They did it all through weird, really, really fucking weird metaphors. The creator of Barbie's in the movie? I guess, not like the actual creator, I'm sure she's like dead or something, but like as a character and like she lets Barbie be real, or she tells her, you don't need me to be real, or something. She just wants to be a real human, I guess, at some point. She has an existential crisis breakdown, just like Michael, again, in The Good Place. Um, and this whole time, I'm just thinking, like, man, this is just... I mean, that's cool, but, like, this is just crazy, you know? It's about these beings who just lived in this utopia, and then they find out about other stuff, and completely changes everything, you know? Like, I don't know. It's really weird. It's such a weird movie, man. Am I the only one who feels like this? Like, I haven't watched any reviews or anything yet, but god damn it. Like, if nobody else thinks this is, like, a super weird movie and it's just me, and I'm, like, totally isolated by, like, the overload of information there, you know, maybe I'm just, like, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, you know? Like, maybe I just don't get it. But it's not even a bad movie or anything. I like a lot of what it's trying to do, but then a lot of stuff I just get really confused about. And there's like all these dance scenes and they just go on and like stuff like that. Or just like all these scenes that I'm just like, what is the point of this? It also kind of felt like a Mario Bros situation or like a Spider-Verse 2 situation where I'm sure a lot of these like things and the stuff that they keep pointing out are like in the outfits and stuff are like references and like the little girls or the moms or whatever in the crowd are gonna be like, oh, I had that one, and the character, it's not even subtle. The character in the movie, the mom of the girl who used to own this Barbie, like she even says that, like, oh, I had that, oh, I had to save up for that one, you know, like, whew, boy, oh my god. How did we get here? How did Barbie break me of all movies? I just don't understand that. I went in thinking this is gonna be the easiest movie to understand ever. It's gonna be so straightforward. It's gonna be just a big boost to my femininity or something. And that's it. And here we are being like, I don't know, made to ponder life and philosophy and stuff in a Barbie movie, of all things. It's that part of me thinks that that's brilliant, but the fever dream stuff is just so fucking odd. I just don't get it. I mean, I get it, but it just it just confuses me so much. It just breaks me. The song in the end credits, why though? Why? Why would you ruin Barbie Girl? I actually really like that song. Or I used to anyway. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but I used to really like that song. Yeah, this one broke me. I don't even want to give it a rating, but I think I'm going to, regardless, because I have to, right? Like, oh, okay, let me talk about another thing. What? Let's try to regroup here. Soundtrack. Bizarre. Really weird. It's as weird as what we're listening to right now. Yeah, strange. Visual design. Pretty good, I would say. It's cool. It actually kind of reflects, I believe, I imagine, like, the toy universe and, you know, stuff. And it's colorful, and it's bright, and it doesn't look like a piece of shit, so, I mean, S plus on that one, I guess. Ugh, God. They made a joke about Zack Snyder's Justice League, I guess. I don't know why they did that. Humor all over the place. It was fine. Dialogue, very strange. Some of it made a lot of sense. Some of it was just really bizarre, though. Like I said. This is a hard one, man. This broke me. I'm I'm done. This broke me. A little dot right there above the eye. That's what did it. It's Tuesdays and July. And sometimes the moment where nothing is always happening. What? 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 I imagine this movie is what doing drugs is like. Uh, I've never done drugs myself. I haven't smoked. I drank a little bit, but like really one and done, when other people are kind of thing. I imagine this movie is what it's like to do drugs. I imagine. Oh, I was such a good girl as a kid, I never did any of that shit. Dare scared me off of it. They were everyone says that shit was not effective. I was the only one it was effective on. Apparently. I got one! I get to be the poster child for Dare for never doing drugs. What the fuck is this movie? I guess the casting was good. There was so many A-list actors in here, or B-list, I don't know. Is Michael Cera, what was he considered anymore? Margot Robbie? Are they, like, popular still? I feel like she is. Ryan Gosling. What the fuck did I watch? I didn't pay... I mean, I paid money, but I also used a movie credit on it, so... It was just really bizarre. Again, I don't even think it was a bad movie. I enjoyed watching it a lot more than Oppenheimer, because Oppenheimer is a 3-hour-long mess of a movie. Barbie is at least a colorful, bright fever dream of a movie that makes you feel like you're on drugs, apparently. That makes me feel like that's what drugs must be like. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like looking around and I'm like, are these kids, they all get it? This is like what TikTok fashion is now or something? Like, not fashion, but you know what I mean? Like TikTok, this is what they get. This is the Minecraft and TikTok generation. They get it. They're hip, Is that what this movie is? It's just... I mean, I guess, because it's a fever dream. They just throw everything at the wall, and it's super meta. It's fast-paced content, all just kind of crushed together to have some kind of coherent message, too. I don't know. Like, I feel like the message was on brand, but I don't really know if it was communicated well throughout the movie, you know what I mean? It was just bizarre. What a bizarre movie I watched. So, yeah, I mean... Holy mother-forking shirt balls. Whoa! That moment Eleanor has right there at the end of season 1, that's my reaction to the movie. It's just like, wow. What the fuck? But yeah, I don't know. I don't. I think I kind of enjoyed it, but like I also was just super confused. You know what I mean? But it's below 2 hours, which is good. That's always a big plus in my book. That's gonna gain it points. It was semi-enjoyable, for sure. It was enjoyable. I had some laughs. It's certainly a unique movie that I will probably not remember all of, but I will not forget certain parts of it. I feel like I hallucinated that movie. I swear I've never done drugs in my entire life. But that must have been what it was like. Is that it? Did they secretly sneak you drugs in your popcorn before the movie to get you to hallucinate and think Barbie was like this masterpiece or something? I don't know. I don't know. You be the judge. I don't fucking know. This movie was so weird, man. It was so weird. It was so weird. So, I think it was alright. I enjoyed it enough. It was good, but not great. I don't know. Maybe it was great. Maybe I have to see it again or like marinate on it for a bit or something. Watch some videos to get some perspective on it or something. But as is, I'm confused. It was a fever dream. It has some good messages about patriarchy and feminism, which balances to equality in the end, and about being yourself, I believe, with some good messaging in there. And finding yourself. And getting over existential crises. Yeah. And then apparently it has something to do with Barbie, which I know very little about. So that's it. This broke me. This movie broke me. I'm gonna give it like a 6.9 out of 10. 69. Nice. No, I'm just kidding. But I am. That's probably gonna be my score, 6.9. I wanted to give it like a 7, but I don't think it could get there without me understanding understanding most of the movie. I feel like I understand it. There were so many scenes that just felt like, what am I watching? How is this relevant to anything that's going on right now? What even is happening, you know? What movie did I stumble into? And you probably are asking yourself, Emily, why did you see this movie then? I don't know. Because I heard good things. I heard bad things. I wanted to be there. I wanted to say that I experienced it, and I sure as fuck did experience this movie. So, hell, fuck, I don't know. Yeah. Whew. Subscribe for the bad girl coven and magic coming from the heart, you know? That's it. It's kind of the moral of the movie, I guess. Magic comes from the heart, you know? So, whew. I don't know. Let me know what you thought about Barbie. Explain it to me. It's bizarre, man. It's so bizarre. Anyways, I'm gonna just go lay down for 3 years. Ugh.